Hello battlers, it's Lisa Team here. So I recently streamed some archery speed Bananza tournaments and the competition was pretty intense. We had some really good players show up. I played 20 games in total, and out of the 20 games, I'm gonna show you the 5 best games from the stream. This is a semi-finals match I played against Chris Langan. So my usual start if I have farm as one of my towers would be to send blues and place a 1-0 farm. So I pressure my opponent into building defense, and at the same time I try to greed for a farm. So right now I'm sending pinks to force my opponent to get Seeking Shurikens. And my opponent goes for a ninja, whereas I go for a heli. I think heli is a more cost-efficient tower in the early game than ninja because it just does more DPS per dollar that you spend. Right now both of us are gonna build as many farms as we can, and we are aiming to build a facility soon. Both of us are gonna have 1 Republic plus 3 plantations because I think that's the best setup to most cost efficiently get a facility. At least this is the most cost efficient setup in archery speed Bananza. So now both of us go for facilities. I'm gonna send him leads to force him to get lead detection because right now he only has a Bloonjitsu, so he gets a Razor Rotor to defend it. Right now we're just gonna farm as hard as possible. Round 11 is coming up next, and to defend rainbows you just need to build an Apache. So right now both of us are gonna build sabotage supply lines to slow down the balloons so that we don't choke, and then build an Apache. So right now both of us are gonna be fine with the Apache, and we're gonna spam farms. And right now I have 5 facilities, but there's actually space for 6 facilities on this map. And the reason why I don't have that facility is because I had my Apache, so I need to sell the Apache, which I just did. And now I have 6 facilities, whereas my opponent only has 5 because one of his facilities is missing because he's placing an Apache instead of a facility. So both of us are gonna spam Bloonjitsus as quickly as possible because on round 22 we are gonna send fast cooldown ZOMGs at each other. So we're gonna need as many Bloonjitsus as we can afford to try to slow down, try to defend the ZOMGs, and we also need sabotage supply lines to stall the ZOMGs, of course. Technically you only need 4 ZOMGs, you only need 4 sabotage supply lines to stall the ZOMGs. My opponent has 4 sabotage supply lines, whereas I have 10 because I like to build as many sabotage supply lines as possible so that I can just use the abilities whenever I want. I don't need to optimize them and use them exactly every 15 seconds. That gives me more leeway to work with. So right now it's round 22 and both of us are gonna send fast cooldown ZOMGs at each other. I have slightly more Bloonjitsus than him, and I have 2 more Apaches than him because I sold all my facilities to build Apaches in advance, whereas my opponent is missing the Apaches on the bottom left of the map and on the top right of the map. So right now I have a lot of Bloonjitsus, whereas my opponent has slightly fewer, and I have 2 more Apaches, and that allows me to defend the ZOMG slightly better than my opponent is. I also have I'm also stalling the ZOMGs very efficiently because I'm always using my store, whereas my opponent isn't stalling the ZOMGs. As you can see, 1 ZOMG on his side is full speed right now, and it looks like he's gonna go down to the ceramics because I think his Apaches were not targeting to the ceramics. This is a semi-finals match I'm playing against Vinny on Pinball Wizard. We've got Bomb, Chipper, and Telly. So as you can notice, we have copy eco, so that's why I'm not ecoing. I'm waiting for him to reach about 600 eco. Obviously I can't see his eco, so I'm just estimating when he has near 600 eco so I can copy his eco. Now both of us are just gonna eco as much as possible. He gets Razor Rotors to defend the greens that we are sending. I'm also gonna need a Razor Rotors. So round 6 we can both send yellows, and 1 Razor Rotors alone will not defend yellows. So we are probably going to place bomb to defend it. Yep, he's going to place a cluster bomb, and I'm also going to do the same. And I'm going to place lots of glue to prevent any leaks in case any balloons get past my cluster bomb, because in tournaments there's going to be a 4-second cooldown between powers, which is why I like to pre-place some powers if I can. Like if I have glue or spikes, I do like to place them beforehand if there's a 4-second cooldown. So round 11 will be coming up next. Let's see if anyone wants to send any rainbows or zebras because that unlocks on round 11. Looks like there's not going to be any zebras. Oh, Vina is going to send some camo zebras, but I will be able to afford an Apache with camo detection to defend the zebras. So now we are fine until at least BFBs because one Apache is able to single-handedly defend a ZOMG. A BFB, I mean, not a ZOMG. And now we are both going to send eco. We're just gonna spam pinks. I have a slight eco advantage, about 300 eco more. I don't know how much 300 eco is gonna help in Bananza, but a lead is better than no lead. And now I'm spamming supply drops because I know that on round 22, it's a good opportunity to rush because this loadout isn't very good against ZOMGs, and now I'm spamming the supply drop ability. Wait, no, it's called support Chinook. Wrong one. Yeah, the heli ability is support Chinook, and in Bananza you can actually do a trick where you just keep microing the ability. So every time you sell the support Chinook, you lose about $2,200, but whenever you collect the crates, it gives you 3,000. So you earn about 1,000 from doing this trick every time. And now we're both gonna rush each other with ZOMGs. I send a bunch of ZOMGs, and seems like he's able to defend. I'm also able to defend, and now both of us have 0 eco, so it's a very weird situation. I'm gonna slow down the gameplay here. So now he has 3 Apaches, I also have 3 Apaches. I use copy eco because I want to see if he has any eco that I can steal, but no, he has no eco, and neither do I. So both of us don't have any eco. It's a very weird situation, and I just remembered that I can use support Chinooks to give me some extra money. It gives me about $1,000 per use, as I have mentioned, and now he's going to copy me, and he's also going to use support Chinook. So this is a pretty intense battle because whoever is able to micro the support Chinook ability faster is going to get more money. And now I've accumulated more than 10k, so I decided to send a ZOMG to him because I want to distract him from constantly using his supply drop. Now he needs to build Apaches instead of using his supply drops, so that's great. He's going to be distracted and I can keep on using my supply drops. And now he's going to place some Apaches and a balloon chipper to stall the BFBs. Now I'm going to send another ZOMG because while he was defending the balloons, I was busy using supply drop abilities. Look, my side, I'm still using supply drop abilities, and he goes down to the rush. I'm sorry if I distracted you from looking at the left side, but yeah, he does go down to the rush because I just kept on using my supply drop abilities and kept pressuring him with ZOMGs. This is a finals match played on offside, so whoever wins this match wins the whole tournament. So we've got Wizard Farm Glue, and this loadout is really intense because with this loadout, both players want to fill the entire screen with as many facilities as they can, and then they want to fill the entire screen with phoenixes. So this is going to be a pretty cool match. So currently both players are at a pretty even situation. We both have 3 plantations, and we've got a lightning wizard. We are sending each other blacks to force extra defense. So this loadout, we've got fertile soil, cripple, and long balloon boost. We're using fertile soil to get some extra money. Now we are both gonna sell some farms to get a facility. I'm gonna rush him with yellows and use cripple, try to get him to choke and get a cheese win, but he survives with 51 lives. Now he's rushing me with some regen whites to force some defense. I have 3 facilities whereas he has 2, so I'm at a slight farm lead, and the reason why is because he's building all these wizards. And now he's gonna rush with some rainbows, and I'm gonna defend by just spamming phoenixes. He also sent some camels because I built blown fires, but yeah, the phoenixes are gonna take care of the camels. Now we are gonna fill the entire screen with facilities. Now one trick I love to do in Bananza when I have to fill the entire screen with facilities is I like to place 0-0 farms all over the map so that once I have the money to, I can quickly upgrade them to facilities, so I don't need to place them later on, because usually you get the money in bursts because in between rounds you might not get any money, so you have time to place towers, but then during the round you're gonna get so many crates. So yeah, that's how I place farms more quickly. And now I have a full screen of facilities, whereas he has some spots on his map missing facilities. So there's this spot here, this spot here, and this spot here. So he is, and also he could place farms here and here if he sold his towers, but he's gonna need the place to fit his phoenixes. I'm gonna send him a ZOMG. It's kind of just to distract him and try to make him use some of his Phoenix abilities so that he has fewer Phoenix abilities to use later on. I'm gonna lose all my eco, but it's not gonna matter because I already have 600,000 from all the facilities I have. Now he doesn't seem to be using any Phoenixes. He's just gonna use the Phoenix without the ability to defend. He's just gonna use the base towers to defend, and I also am going to spam a lot of Bloon liquefiers because I want all the Bloons to be glued. I don't want any Bloons to be missed out. Now we're both going to send each other a lot of ZOMGs. So this rush might take us down. It's a lot of ZOMGs, and if we don't have enough Phoenixes, we might go down to this rush. So let's see what happens. So if we don't have glue, this rush would be a lot more deadly, but because we have glue, this rush is slightly easier to defend because glue is able to stall MOAB class balloons by 33%, and the Bloon liquefier also does an additional 10 damage per second. And those 10 damage per second is gonna really help out with defending the MOABs and ceramics because a ceramic has 18 layers, so basically ceramics are gonna be destroyed within 1.8 seconds. Usually if you don't have glue, you would need the Phoenixes to target the ceramics, and that's gonna waste their popping power. You want them to be targeting the MOAB class balloons, so the glues are gonna be taking care of the ceramics. And now both of us are gonna fill the entire screen with Phoenixes. It's starting to get a bit laggy because of all the towers on the screen. There's nothing much I can do. My device is already pretty good, but we are still lagging. That's how laggy this game is. And my opponent's probably also playing on a good device because this game didn't cause him to lag out. My opponent has some Tempest Tornadoes. I don't really see the need to build any Tempest Tornadoes because the ceramics are already going to be destroyed by all the Bloon liquefiers we have. Because as I said earlier, the ceramics are going to be destroyed within 1.8 seconds. Now, he destroyed all the ZOMGs on his screen. I sent him a few more, but at this point, I think both of us realized that the ZOMGs are pointless. We both have too many Phoenixes on the screen to be defeated by ZOMGs. Now currently, as you can see, almost my entire screen is just filled with Phoenixes. There's only a couple spots which I don't have Phoenixes on, like there's here and there's here which I don't have Phoenixes yet. But now I'm gonna start placing Phoenixes on the bottom right corner. My opponent, on the other hand, has a lot of place where there's no Phoenixes. He has a bunch of farms here. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but we'll find out. So with the farms he has, he's gonna get a money lead. So he has 600k and I have 300k, but on the other hand, I'm not gonna need the money. I'm only gonna need the money to send ZOMGs. I'm not gonna need any more money to place towers because I have almost the entire screen filled with towers already. There isn't really many more places I can fit my Phoenixes on. If you guys didn't know, on round 30, the ZOMGs are gonna double in HP. So usually they have 2,000 health. So on round 30, they're gonna double and they're gonna have 4,000 health. And on round 32, they're gonna have 5,600 health. And every round after this, they're gonna have plus 1,600 health, and they're also gonna be faster. I can't remember how much faster they're gonna be. And here it looks like my opponent's gonna go down. I use Cripple to ensure the victory, and yes, he does go down. This game is also a finals match played on offsite. It's a finals of a 16-player tournament, so whoever wins this match wins the tournament. My opponent places a Spikapult to defend the Rids, but I don't really agree with this Spikapult spot. Usually I would like to place it over here instead, because this Spikapult spot doesn't really hit many Bloons. So right now we've got Dart, Cobra, Dartling. It's a pretty intense strategy because any strategy with Cobra is very intense because you need to think of what kind of rushes you can do against your opponent, because offensive push or balloon adjustment can also come into play. Now it's round 6, yellows are unlocked, but both of us are not really rushing. We are trying to build up our Cobras because with Cobras you do need to get a bunch of money to make any offensive push or balloon adjustment plays. Right now I'm trying to offensive push my opponent. My plan is to just use as many offensive pushes as possible, but right now my opponent just self-freezes me, and I'm really shocked because I wasn't expecting this to happen, and he just completely destroys me. I couldn't built enough defense because of his cell freeze, and I completely didn't expect this rush, so well played by my opponent. This is actually the only loss in my most recent Archery Speed Bananza stream. I had 19 wins at 1 loss, and this is the 1 loss. This match is the finals match of a 16-player tournament, so whoever wins this match wins the whole tournament. So we are playing on offsite as usual. I like to put offsite as the final map in tournaments. And we've got Tag Village Mortar, Super Bloom Boost, Super Eco Boost, and Improved Towers Boost. As you can see, I'm placing Tech Spreers, which is the 3-0 tech, whereas my opponent is placing Blade Shooters. Now the reason why I'm placing Tech Sprayers instead of Blade Shooters is because we have Village, and once I buy my Village with Monkey Fort, it's gonna double the pierce of the Tech Sprayers that I have, so it makes it more cost efficient than Blade Shooters. If you don't have Village, Blade Shooter will be more cost efficient than Tech Sprayers. And I like to put Tech Sprayers at the front of the map because it will help with defending MOAB class balloons. Now we are both ecoing, and I also want to get Monkey Town to give some extra eco. It gives 20% more eco for all the balloons that you send. And we are just waiting for balloons to ramp right now. It's around 11, but we can't really kill each other with any Regen Rainbow rushes. I try to rush him with Camel Rainbows, but it's not going to work because he has a Maelstrom and the big one. And also has Camel Detection because of his Village, so it's not going to work at all. Let's see, currently we are just both ecoing because we can't really send any other rushes. It's too early. It's round 16 now. We can both send MOABs, but that's not going to do anything because the Tech Sprayers on my side are going to destroy the MOABs very easily, and you just need to Maelstrom the Ceramics. That's how you defend a MOAB. Now it's round 18, we can both send BFBs, but that's still too weak to defeat either of us. And round 20, slow cooldown ZOMGs will unlock, and we might decide to send that. I'm still ecoing. I'm not too sure if I should be ecoing here. My opponent isn't ecoing at all, so I have a big eco advantage, but it's not going to be very useful if I decide to all out him. So right now he's going to Super Balloon Boost me 1 ZOMG, and I'm going to use Improved Towers Boost to try to get my Tech Spears to rip off the ZOMG layer. And now it's round 22, I decide to go all out with fast cooldown ZOMGs. My opponent is also going to do the same to me, but I only sent 3 ZOMGs. Actually, I'm going to send more. Yeah, both of us are sending ZOMGs to each other. So the way to defend this is to just Mortar Stall and spam Maelstroms. But over here, he goes down to the Ceramics, which might be a choke because if he just used his Blade Maelstroms, he should be able to defend the Ceramics. So those were the 5 best games from my tournament stream. If you think you can beat me and you want to play versus me in future live streams, then you should subscribe so that you'll know whenever I'm streaming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.